How do you feel when someone tells you what you need before they've even asked you what you want? There's a problem. It's major, particularly in the personal development seminar industry, in that you're getting what someone thinks you need. You haven't been asked what you want. 20 years ago, when I started in the personal development seminar industry, I didn't know where it was going. I had no idea. I was just excited to be involved. Over that 20 years, I have assisted and I have encouraged and I have challenged. I've grown. I've made mistakes. I've done a lot of things, but what I haven't done is I have not remained the same. See, what if you never really wanted to develop, that you actually wanted to transform? What if improvement is not what you wanted, but you took it, you accepted it because that's what was available? But actually, given the choice, you wouldn't have improved upon where you are. You would have transformed completely. You would have, in fact, become new. You would have changed forms. But that hasn't been offered. Ask your coach, your trainer, your instructor, your facilitator, whoever it is that's pushing you to take bigger risk and go beyond your comfort zone. Ask them, when was the last time you actually sat in that seat? When was the last time you actually risked and went beyond what was comfortable for you? When was the last time you were actually pulled from the place that was familiar to you? You'll be shocked to find that the overwhelming majority of them do not practice what they talk about. See, the universe is efficient and it does not like waste. And so if there's something that you will accept as okay, if you'll accept it as being all right, then why would there be provisions made to allow you to have more? You finally said enough is enough, where you were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you said no more. This is what I need. This is what I'll accept. 20 years ago when I started, I had no idea where it was leading, but today I know. Not development, not improvement. What I've heard you say you wanted. Well, no longer is it okay for me to live at less than what I'm capable of. No longer is it okay for me to make less than I am worthy of. No longer is it okay for me to exist in a relationship where I'm not valued and treasured and nourished and respected. No longer is it okay. If that's gonna happen, you've got to be willing to raise the floor. The degree to which you will not accept anything less, or the minimum allowable standard. If you feel underserved, you've got to decide if what you've been investing in has not yielded what you wanted. When you determine that and you're serious about it, it wasn't that you desired to develop, it wasn't that you wanted to improve, what you wanted was to be new. There's a big difference between knowing about something and truly knowing something. You know it because you live it, because you experience it, not just because you can talk about it. For 20 plus years, I've only been willing to teach what I have personally tested. And so, when the moment of decision rose again recently, I only had to consider, well, what would I advise a client to do? With given these two options, when presented with these two choices, what would I advise a client to do? And with that in mind, I chose me. It sounds pretty simple, right? Sounds easy enough. Choose you. No big deal. Choose you. Simple. Choose you. But the reality is that it's not easy. The reality is that choosing you can be hard. It can be difficult to go from the familiar to the unfamiliar, to go from comfort and safety to a lot of unknowns, to leave the security blanket that you've known for multiple decades. where they know your name for what you've done, to enter a world where you're a stranger, to enter a world where they don't know you from Adam, to enter a world where they have no idea where you've come from or what you've done, to leave a place where you're known and recognized and enter the abyss, a place where no one even knows you, and you start from the beginning. It's not for cupcakes. It actually takes some guts. And so here's the thing. If you are a person who's been questioning if whether or not it would be worth it, it is not just worth it to leave the familiar to chase your dream. It is required to leave what you've known to go after what you want. Not only is it worth it to leave the security to go for your desire, it's required. If you've been questioning if whether or not it would be worth it, I've got news. Listen to me. Listen carefully. There is no safety in the security that you've chosen. There is no guarantee in the comfort that you've come to know. There is no guarantee in the predictability and control that you think you have. In a moment, the rug can be snatched from underneath you. And when that happens, will you be equipped? Will you be resilient enough? Will you have the tools to still play the game from a place of win-win, even when your comfort has been disturbed? Will you be ready to take it on? Let them call you crazy. Let them call you silly. Let them call you irrational. But whatever you do, don't get to the end of your life and you have to call yourself a coward because you were never courageous enough to risk.